it was free. You would have had around 50 people in each room, so it was pretty cramped. A lot of diseases spreading around pretty easily back then as well, so it wouldn't have been a nice place to stay. But the main reason it was built was because of a man called Thomas Becket. Has anyone heard of him at all? Thomas Becket? That's right. Gives me more to talk about, that's fine. So he's pretty well known in this part of England because he was an Archbishop of Canterbury Cathedral. And back in sort of the medieval times, Canterbury Cathedral was one of the most significant parts of the church. So you had, the state, which was the king or the queen, and the church, and they were very divided. They often disagreed on how to run the country and what to spend money on. And so King Henry II, who was the king at the time, he appointed his very good friend, Thomas Becket, who was also sort of a wealthy, not even a religious man, but just a friend of his. And he thought this way he would have more control over the church. And this worked quite well for a few years until Becket sort of became more religious. He found God, he started disobeying the king with how he wanted to run the church. And they had a bit of a falling out. Unfortunately, some of the king's knights got the wrong idea in theory. So they heard the king complaining about Becket one day because he had a few too many glasses of wine to drink. And he said, "Who will rid me of this troublesome priest?" And the knights thought that basically they could maybe get a promotion, get in the king's good books, if they went and got Thomas to behave and listen to the king more. Unfortunately, they were about 5'2", which was the average height of men at the time. Becket was about 6'5" and a former soldier, so he probably wasn't too intimidated by these knights. He told them to get out of his church, he wasn't scared of them at all. And a few days later they came back to the cathedral armed with swords. There was maybe a bit of a fight, and it ended with Becket being killed inside the cathedral, which obviously is incredibly controversial and blasphemous in his own church. It's a holy place, so he thought he was safe there, but they thought they were doing the king's bidding. And the king then came out and said he didn't want that to happen at all. He was very upset, so he sent the knights on a